Hello, mysteries and other weird shit. I am here with my lovely friends, and today we're going to talk about individuality and the difference in styles and transitions into the goth and alternative lifestyles. So, let's do this shit. Okay, who's first?
Start from the right.
Athena. Hi, I am Athena. Alternative name Lilac. And I love how you guys all put me on the spot. Anyway, okay, so where do I start?
Should we have like basic question outlines?
Yeah. But
When did you first start becoming?
Yeah, it's kind of late for that. But anyway, okay, so this is like the little Darkling things that we have. She forgot to.
Oh yes, the Darkling Mafia girls.
Yes, we are the Mafia girls. And okay, well my style is more new goth / pastel goth. Yeah, I'm just gonna use it as that for now. I don't really have the money to pay for everything that I want yet, but I'm transitioning, and this is not a new transition for me. I've been doing this back and forth for years because family doesn't accept things, and then they do accept things, and then I moved out on my own, so I said fuck it all. I shouldn't be cursing, right? Anyway, so I am. It's a hard transition for anybody, especially if your family is very strict. But the goal is to stay true to yourself. There you go. And so stay dark. Shut up, Amber. Stay dark and just love yourself for who you are.
Say more about like what draws you into the style and whatnot.
What draws me to the style? Okay, first of all, let's just talk about the fact that I'm dark. Like my sense of humor, my sense of like everything. I'm just a dark person. I'm bubbly, but I have a sick sense of humor. My favorite jokes are the types that insult people, and I am a bitch. So therefore, I am darkly inclined, bubbly.
No, at least you admit to being a
Yeah.
Some people don't own up to it.
Yeah.
I can respect that. Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody knows it. If you don't like me, oh well. Okay. Sasa kitten.
Oh god. Well, as you just heard, I'm Sasa Kitten. Real name Sakaya. Been dressing alternative since I was like maybe 12-ish, 11. Awkward baby back years. Heavily influenced by anime, and also I find that my spirit animal is the feline, the cat. I feel like I am a cat. Fangs, cat ears, all day, every day. Talking about individuality, what exactly about it? I don't know how to answer.
What made you get into culture?
I don't know. I was just, it's not even just anime. I was just naturally drawn to the style. Like, I like things that are more drawn to it. More darkly inclined. Like, I really like dark humor. I feel a lot really comfortable when I'm wearing all black. I just find comfort in it. And I feel like this sense of home and belonging, if that makes sense. I always loved the music. I got tired of hearing the same thing that I grew up with, hip-hop, R&B, whatever. Oh, that's really cliche. A lot of people say the same thing, like, oh no, I'm tired of hearing what I grew up with. But that's how it was. Everybody used to make fun of like rock music and people who dress different, and I kind of was curious, like, what's wrong with that though? Why are you making fun of it if you don't know anything about it? I remember when I was in like 6th grade, this girl was making fun of Blink 182, saying, what the fuck is Blink 486? Like, what is that? 486! And I was like, what? Have you even listened to the music? Like, give it a chance. And, you know, I also really liked anime, so those things kind of like clash. So, I don't know what else to say.
What was your first gothic experience? Your first time being around a whole bunch of other goths? I think you had to jump in on this one too because you didn't answer.
Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, so my first real gothic experience would have to be, I've had two. for separate years. My first one, when I was younger, I was like 14, 15, and I went to anti-prom. By the way, if you live in NYC, anti-prom is the place to be this time of year.
Word. As long as you're still in middle school or high school.
High school, yeah. It's the place to be, especially if you're newly transitioning. You need to find friends who are just like you. You're gonna find them there. It's amazing.
Word. If you don't feel at home at your own prom, you can go to
anti-prom. I did it for years, and I loved it. Anti-prom was amazing.
I've gone to like 3 anti-proms. Why have I not
Yes.
done you?
Because I went 13, 14, 15.
Oh.
And then I stopped going. Yeah, you were still a baby. And, well, you're only a year younger than me. And my second other gothic experience was actually with you guys. With Cybertron, when we all, like, officially met. That was my second real goth experience where I was just like, yeah, this is home for me. This is exactly where I know, this is my people, I should say. This is my territory. This is where I'm like, yeah, we all like the same things, anime, you know, dark music, dark sense of humor and everything, and it's home.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Well, my first goth experience, I guess you could say, was when I was in middle school, like maybe 7th grade. I made a friend who, we bonded because we had the same birthday, and we found out we both, it's gonna sound really fucking sad, but baby bat years, we both loved Evanescence. So we were like shitting our pants, like, oh my god, we both love Evanescence, Amy Lee. We both like stripy tights and dark delights. That's a blog.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to do our horrible, shitty black eyeshadow makeup, and we used to wear skinny jeans and combat boots, all of that. And fast forward, I went to high school, went to an art high school, so I started meeting more alternative people. Not necessarily goth, but people who are more into what I was into. You know, drifting from the norm, which is hip-hop culture from where I live, you know, in the city, urban area. Fast forward again, my first real goth experience within, like, the scene, I guess you could say, was when I went out to, like, Vampire Freaks events, Cybertron and whatnot. I started meeting more and more, you know, alternative people who knew about the same music that I knew about, and I was just like, oh my god, you know about this band too? Or like, you listen to it and it gives you the same feelings that I get from it too? Like, holy shit. And just going on the dance floor and hearing a song that you actually want to dance to and a song that you listen to your iPod all the time, it's like such a surreal feeling, and it really, like Athena said, it feels like home. Like, you just feel like this overwhelming sense of belonging. It's really fucking great.
I want to be in the video now.
I guess to speak more about me as a person as goth, I feel like naturally, because I'm also an artist too, I'm like very creative and I draw and paint, sing, anything that has to do with art I'm interested in. I feel like a lot of people who are artists, most of the time are also like, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. A lot of people who are goth are also happen to be artists, so they kind of naturally have interests that drift from the norm. Sometimes they go more towards the darker side, so I feel like maybe it was just bound to happen with me. You know, I like to draw, but sometimes I like to also express myself off the canvas. The body is also a canvas, so there's that. And, you know, my personality, I feel like, is a mix of creepy and cute, because I'm really, really bubbly and nice and happy, but that, like, the way I dress is like the complete opposite. And that's just what I like. I love contradictions. Like, I love seeing, like, adorable little girls with, like, their little pigtails and they're dressed all cute. But then they have, like, a butcher knife behind their back and, like, it's all bloody, like they just killed someone. I just love dark, creepy contradictions. That's just what I'm drawn to. I talk about myself a lot. Next person!
No, the host goes last. So, Emerald Lady, it's your turn.
Okay, so as you heard, I'm Emerald Lady, mainly because I really like the color green. My first color is black, favorite color is black, and then my second is green. I was always drawn to green. But anyway, that's not the point. Anyway. Well, if you're curious, my real name is Edeline. But anyway. So, what was the first question?
How did you get started?
See, that is a long story, but I'm gonna try to keep it short. It kind of started, it started around age 13 when I started my teenage years. What kind of started was actually listening to rock music. And then as I started listening to it, I just wanted like to emerge deeper into it and deeper. And then that's when I found Gothic rock, which is my favorite genre. And what also helped me start was like, I used to be bullied a lot, and I was very self-conscious. So, you know, like finding the Gothic subculture, it really made me realize like who I am as a person. I never really felt comfortable with the way that it seemed like my family wanted me to be, like the typical Dominican girl. I'm Dominican, by the way. Like the typical Dominican girl, all colorful, and I don't know. Like I always felt uncomfortable in my own skin, and then when I hit 13 and I was able to like dress, you know, like buy my own clothes or whatever, I felt more and more comfortable. And I started researching more about the Gothic subculture, and then I felt really at home. So what's the next question?
First Gothic experience.
My
Your
first
style.
Alright.
Your style.
So my first goth experience, to be honest, it wasn't really a good one. Like the first goth that I met, he was a guy that went to my middle school, but then he left after he graduated in high school. And I just saw him one day, and then I noticed that, you know, he was goth. Like before, when he was in middle school, he wasn't. So then I started talking to him. I was actually really excited because at that time I was still learning a lot. I think I was still in my baby by years, and you know, I thought that it'd be great, you know, talking to him and stuff like that, learning more. And then I guess you could say that he was like the first elitist that I met. Oh my gosh. He was all like, you know, I was telling him about how interested I am about the Gothic subculture and stuff like that. And he just flat out told me like, oh, you don't seem really goth to me. And I was like, I can't really afford it. Like, I'm freaking 14. I don't even have a job yet. Come on. And you know what's funny? 3 years ago after that day, I seen him and he's not goth anymore. So isn't that funny? Oh gosh. So yeah, that was pretty bad. Whatever. So, okay, so as for my style, I don't know, like, I tend to like all of the goth styles, to be honest, whether it's romantic goth or Victorian, trade goth, all that. I just like wear anything that's goth, basically. And, let's see, what else am I missing here? Was there one more question?
Your first goth experience.
No.
Just duck.
Next person.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, my name is Lori, aka Bunny. I am relatively new to the whole Darklings group. I am 23, although I look like I'm 16. My first goth experience was in freshman year of high school when I met my friend Yasmin, and she was the one who introduced me to the whole goth culture because she was like heavily influenced in it. And of course, I was curious about it. And she introduced me to all these great bands that I still listen to, some of them today. Like him, The Birthday Massacre, which I still listen to this day. Avenged Sevenfold, Killswitch Engage. And I listen to a lot of like a wide array of music, so I'm like listening to like pop, J-pop, J-rock, anything pretty much. And it was when I transferred high schools, I met another friend where we used to pretty much swap clothes, and we used to like, we were really like delving into the whole punk, emo, goth scene, where we were like cut school and like dressed up in our little nice outfits in high school, and yeah. I know. Don't cut high school. But it was fun, you know. She mostly did most of the, like, you know, the makeup and stuff like that. And I was more into, like, you know, doing all the, like, you know, the cool little hand things and the spikes and the skulls and stuff like that. A lot of girls in high school, the regular ones, I call the regular ones, or clones, they gave us the most shade because they never really understood why we were into the whole goth scene. Like, oh, what are these two black girls, like, you know, doing? Why are they into the whole, you know, goth scene or whatever? We were the only two black girls in that whole high school that did all that stuff because no one really wanted to do all that. They were too scared to do all that stuff. We were both West Indian. We were West Indian descent, first generation. So that was also another thing that we had in common. We also like Japanese culture. We listened to J-pop and all that other stuff. Blah blah. And I think it was now my third goth experience was when I went to the Cybertron events. That was with my ex-boyfriend and his friends and all that stuff. And what really caught my eye was when I saw you dancing. Of course, you had the pastel purple hair. I was like, oh my gosh. I was so afraid to like approach them because I'm like, you know, I was shy at the moment or whatever.
Everyone else looked crazy. I was the brightest fucking person in that entire ass club.
Yeah.
I like how she was shy to approach us, and now she's here with us.
Yeah. I know.
You're welcome.
But I really don't have a style, really. There are times where like I would just have like a laid back style, or wear like a retro shirt, like I have like a Sonic shirt, I have a Thor shirt, I have a whole Marvel shirt, Green Lantern shirt. Wear that with like, you know, don it with like a pair of like, you know, plain jeans and stuff like that. Then I have my black Ozong look, which is Korean for best face. And you know, to like do like cute little makeup and stuff like that. And of course I have this, where I do from time to time. So I kind of like change, depending on the mood, basically, change my looks here and there. And I draw, which I'm still trying to get back into drawing. I am also a college student and I work, so that also takes up a lot of time. But since like I'm done with classes and stuff, I still want to be able to get to meet more people and, you know, improve on my style and stuff like that, and, you know, just not be afraid to walk the streets of Brooklyn with my style, you know, because this is what I'm into, and I don't really care who thinks otherwise. It's me. I'm Lori. There's none other like me. And I like glitter. I like makeup. I love makeup. I like glitter. I like all that stuff. And I like hair. I change my wigs too. So I think that's it.
Anyone else? We're clapping.
I don't know. I think it's because she's like very new to the group, so I'm like really just
so
happy to hear her
clap.
opening up.
Yeah.
Let those people in Brooklyn know.
I don't fucks with Brooklyn. I'm sorry.
Hey.
I'm scared of Brooklyn.
Really? That's so not nice.
I'm sorry.
Disclaimer: I fucks with everyone. I'm a whore.
Oh.
Meaning I'll travel to go see you, not to fuck you. I mean, I hang out with you. You know what I mean. Anyway, Amber.
She's a travel whore.
The same questions we were asking.
Yeah.
Like your first goth experience and how
What's
did
your
you
style?
Get, what's
Okay.
your style? What made you get into it?
I am technically not either alternative nor goth, but I decided I wanted to put my voice in this video because there are some people who hang out with goths and they're like, well, I'm not either or. Do you guys still want to hang out with me? The answer is yes. Yes, they do. I'm heavily into all of the things they say. All of the bands, the anime. Oh gosh, the anime. The comics. I'm a huge comic book nerd.
The comics.
Oh, the comics. Let's not get into that right now because I'm not really happy what they're doing, the DC universe.
DC.
Yes. So,
Marvel.
so I'm heavily into that, but I'm also heavily into, you know, the hip hop stuff too. And I want to let you guys know that if you are goth or alternative or punk or emo and all that,
All the other shit.
yes, it does not matter if you do listen to that kind of music. It doesn't.
FYI, I listen to everything.
Me too.
I think we pretty much all listen to everything.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do too.
You don't have to
yeah.
dressing a certain way, being who you are doesn't mean that you have to stick to a certain type of music.
Limit yourself.
Yeah,
I
never
just listen
limit
to old
yourself.
school R&B. I don't think I listen to like the current day stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to everything.
My
So,
godbrother was trying to tell me about these new artists, and I was like, who? Is that a person? Is this a band or a group? Who they were.
So my first goth experience. My first goth experience wasn't at an event or at school. My first goth experience was in my house with my brother. My brother and my mother. We were just talking. I don't know. For a long time, my brother has always dressed alternative. I didn't know anything else he's ever dressed in. So it was kind of like I've always knew that style. He's always listened to that music. So when we were out one day, we stopped at this goth store that used to be on Hunts Point. People
The
don't know.
Nevermore store.
Yeah, it used to be on Hunts Point. And my mom saw these big platform shoes, and she looked at them and she's like, "Oh my gosh, those are really nice." And she turned to me and she was like, "Do you want them?" And like in my head, I'm like, "No, no, I don't want them." But she had such a hopeful look on her face, like, "Do you want them? Please say you want them. I want to buy them. Want them." So I'm like, "Yeah, Ma, I want them." And then I don't know if that opened a gateway for something, but it was like, she's like, "Yes, finally." So like she bought the platform shoes, she bought trip pants, she bought these black trip cargo pants, she used to buy these shirts with like chains on them, and she used to be like, "Yay, you like them, wear them." And I just be like, I was into the music, I was into everything else. It just didn't express me. My brother loved it. He's like, "Yes, dye my hair blue. Yes, Mom, I really want those chains. Yes, Mom, more knives." And I just felt like I didn't want to let her down. So I wore it. And I'm like, in middle school, yeah, they were really mean. They were really mean. Oh, I went to school on Boston Road in the Bronx. They were really mean. Like, they used to look at me and be like, "What are you wearing? Like, what garbage can did you get that out of?" Or sometimes walking around on Tremont, they'd be like, me and my brother dressed head to toe in combat boots and we had trip pants on, and we went out one day and I was walking around with my bro, and the lady stopped her kid. Her kid was like, "Mom, what are they wearing?" And she stopped them from approaching us, and she was like, "They're goth." Like whispered it like they're murderers. It wasn't a secret. I'm like, "Hey, little kid, yeah."
The serial killers of the
Yeah, they like she's like took her kids aside. They're goth, So it's not that I never wanted to wear that stuff, not because I didn't like it, because it wasn't me. But I would wear it because there was no way I was gonna let my brother walk around the block alone. I felt like if he was gonna wear that shit and he was gonna talk shit about him, hell yeah, I'm gonna be right there next to him. So I used to wear it to school on dress down day because my school had uniforms. So I used to wear it to school, and they look at me crazy, and I'd be like, "You got something to say?" And sometimes my brother would come pick me up, and they look at him like he was a weirdo because he had blue hair, and he used to wear chains and from head to toe decked in black, and he used to listen to real screamo music, and they could hear it because my brother likes to blast his music, and they could hear it, and they just be like, "Who's that? Like, he's black though. Why is he listening to that?"
He's black though.
Yeah, he's like,
Isn't
"You're
that the
hate
most
that
painful thing?
stereotype.
oh gosh,
annoying.
I hated
Dressing
that."
like a white person.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they was like, "Is he a skater boy?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh." But luckily, I was blessed with really good friends since the time I was in 6th grade, and they just loved my brother. They adored him. So
all the other kids used to look at my brother and be like, he's crazy. He's like a mass murderer. He's a white boy. He's a white wannabe. I'm like, ooh, I used to hate that. What's a white wannabe? What is that? How can you wanna? What is it?
It's pretty much being called a fucking Oreo. How many people have heard that?
Oreo.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot.
Fucking
all the
Oreo.
fucking time.
So, yes. So I'm just saying that I may not be alternative goth, but I'm heavily influenced by them, and I just want to know that, I just wanted to say that a lot of black people feel like they shouldn't be alternative or goth, which is stupid, because it's really in nowadays. You know?
Yeah, but we were it before it was mainstream.
Yes.
It's not even necessarily
And
about
just-
it being in. It's just if you feel like that's how you
You
can
feel-
express yourself, that's
Yes.
what fits you.
And
Doesn't
don't
matter
be
your
ashamed for liking mainstream shit, because it's mainstream for a reason. It's mainstream for a reason. So, yes.
I think instead of looking at things as mainstream and not popular, basing that on whether you like it or
Just
not,
like your own
just like what the
personality.
fuck you like.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's what I
it's
base
based
my
on
life on.
It's all based on personality. Cause you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Honestly, cause everybody here, we all go do our. Today I feel like listening to this. Tomorrow I feel like listening to that.
I just fucking hate it when people are like, ew, that's so mainstream, I don't like it.
Why?
Can you
Why don't you
form
like
your-
it?
Can you form your own opinion on it though, based off it not being popular?
Like, every indie movie is not the best movie. It's not. Just because it's indie does not mean it's the best movie. Like, oh, I love that movie. It was only made with a $50 budget. Yeah, I could tell.
Oh, damn.
It was filmed in Walmart. It does
shit.
not make it.
Moral of the video is just be you.
And now for the main event.
Hi everybody. I know this is awkward because, 1 minute you're in my friend's house and the next minute I'm here. But anyway, my camera was being so rude and cut off in the middle of the ending of the video. So I thought I'd do my part here in my room, close to a week later. Anyway, I'm just gonna pick up and do my part in the video, even though I know that I did a lot of it in the first video, just for the purpose of the video, and some people might have not seen the first video, so here we go. So I started getting into the gothic subculture around the time when I was 13 maybe. How old are you when you're in the 8th grade? I think it was 13. Anyway, I started listening to Paramore, Evanescence, Linkin Park, the etc. And the music really heavily influenced me, but I didn't know about the fashion. So for a long time, I was recognized as a emo scene kind of kid. When I entered high school, I started seeing more alternative people because my high school was in Manhattan, and as you know, if you live in New York, Manhattan's a very diverse place as far as style is concerned. So I started to see a lot more individuality. And yeah, so my style became more black, more dark, more goth, of course. As soon as I discovered black lipstick, it was over. And I don't know. I didn't exactly start calling myself goth because I called myself a baby bat for a long time because I thought it was just insulting. But of course, every goth goes through their baby bat phase. It can't be helped or avoided. So yeah, and my first goth experience was at a club. It was a 16 and over kind of thing, but it was like a gathering. There was no alcohols or anything like that. It was just a dance, whatever. And I got to see a lot of elder goths, some people that were really heavily influenced by it, and it just opened my eyes because I grew up, and I'm still growing up in a place where, you know, goths aren't around a lot. And yes, do you have something to say? Anyway, this is my sister. I'm babysitting, and I thought she would behave to be in the video. And I just thought that having some other people, you know, to be friends with and to see around Manhattan was a good experience for me. It opened my eyes to a lot of things because, you know, when I was starting out and I started, you know, learning about what goth actually was, a lot of people who had nothing to do and knew absolutely nothing about the goth subculture would tell me, like, you're goth, but goths are supposed to be, like, sad and depressed and stuff. And I was like, I don't think so. And I just had to do the research and figure out if that was true or not. And I want to say the goth subculture was an escape for me. I always knew that I wanted to be a fashion designer when I grew up. I still do. And I never really thought, like, as a kid, of what kind of clothes I wanted to make. That's stupid, right? I want to be a fashion designer, but I don't know what kind of clothes I want to make. Anyway, I started thinking about that in high school because I went to the High School of Fashion Industries, which I told you in the first video. And there you get to, you know, mess around with different styles and, you know, do research and reports on different styles and eras of fashion and stuff like that. And I found that I was really into what is now called fantasy wear, which is sad that it's called that, but yeah. I found that I really like the Victorian era, and everything from that time is considered now either costume wear or fantasy, and I want to make that stop. I want to make it real, because there's something about being conservative but still very sexy that appeals to me so much. So that really, well, that helped me with my style as far as, you know, the Victorian era. It's my inspiration for a lot of things, even though I may not always resemble a Victorian goth. I definitely do have a deep respect for them, because it is not cheap. It's really not cheap. And growing up, I had family issues, but not as big as some other people. You know, my parents didn't fully understand what goth was, and if they thought they understood, they just knew what everyone else thought. You know, the serious stereotype, and they also confused it with the self-harming. And it took me a long while to explain to them that that's not what it was. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's not what I want to do, and I don't want to be depressed or anything like that. That was just for my parents. Now, my entire family, some of them are still trying to wrap their heads around it. Wrap their heads around the fact that it's not a phase that I'm just going through. But they didn't have a negative reaction, I can say. That part of my family is pretty, you know, religious, I guess. You know, everyone believes in God and stuff like that. That's what I mean by, like, religious. I don't mean that everyone's slapping the Bible down your throat. But, you know, my grandfather, he told me that, I look like Elvira, which was a compliment. And, you know, every time I just came over and I was heavily dressed, everyone would be like, ooh, nice, sexy, stuff like that. So I didn't get any negative comment, any negative reaction, really, but there was still the deep feeling that they didn't fully understand what I was doing, and that they still thought it was a phase, which was, it was hurtful, but not, like, make me boo-hoo and cry in a corner, because I understand that you don't understand, and I'm going to do my best to make you understand and see that I'm not depressed and new. Just because I wear all black most of the time and all of the time doesn't mean that I'm not going to throw in bits and pieces of colors here and there, or that I want to secretly die and bury myself alive in a graveyard, which sounds pretty cool, but to some people they might think that's scary. I'm joking. But yes, so that's pretty much it for me. But okay, if you guys want me to make more videos like this, you know, where I'm just around a bunch of my friends and I'm asking them about, you know, how they got started in subculture and things that they had to go through, let me know. Like, write comments there or something. I have a couple more friends that I can interview. You know, in the last year, I've made a lot more alternative friends, I can say. And it's been a joy and a thrill to have all of them. I'll definitely link all the girls who are in the video. I'll link them, you know, tag their Instagrams or whatever so you guys can follow them and see what they're up to and stuff. And I'm sorry it took me so long to make this video. I don't know why. I've been a lazy bum this week. I'm sorry for that. But yes, am I forgetting anything, Savannah? Am I forgetting to introduce you? Yes, this is Savannah. She is 1.5. She is my little sister. My littlest sister. I have a lot of sisters. But in my house, I generally just have this one and a 4-year-old who drives me insane. But I have to love her anyway. Right now, Savannah is my favorite because she has a few select words that she knows. And she's still so small and petite. I like babies. I don't like children, though. I mean, I like children, but not my children. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, so I'm gonna say bye. Bye. And then you get to watch all the other girls say bye at that other place. Yes. She really likes my collar. Bye!
Oh, like this?
Proper ending, because I'm lazy. Yes, our beautiful guests. Amber, can I get you? No, you're gonna hide? She's gonna hide. Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.